think I might actually like one or two Charlie Parker songs.
You only like one or
So
two Charlie Parker songs. You need to go to your room and not come out until you can act right.
jazz is just
So you can act
it's a
right.
display, dude. It's like I don't get into it emotionally. It's like I can appreciate it. It's like
Okay.
watching like Jeff Beck play guitar or something, right? He's an amazing guitarist and it's something to watch and I can appreciate the skill that it takes, but I don't get into the music emotionally or spiritually, for lack of a better term. You know, when you're really into it and you're feeling it, I can't get that way with jazz. I appreciate that you can. I think that's amazing, but
What music do you get that way with?
just booty house.
Country and
It's pretty
Western.
much just booty house music, like that ass and titties song, ass and titties. I love that. I've cried in that. Like basically every time it comes on, I cry.
I wanted
But
to.
yeah,
Scott, you look amazing today, by the way. The very handsome Jew, the very hot Jew, Scott.
Yeah, and Scott, I'm going to compliment you on your rooster shirt. That's nice.
I I thought that Mark would appreciate the cock. Yeah, but thank you. We didn't say a welcome to Reckoning Brothers. I started recording.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't tell you, Mark. I apologize.
No,
but
that's
welcome
fine.
to Reckoning Brothers.
No, that's fine, Scott. It's okay.
I'm glad that you forgave me.
Scott, you're so hot that and if the Nazis tossed you in an oven, it would cool you off.
That one was pretty good.
Scott?
You hit it from two angles. I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Heating pads put you on their lower back.
Oh, man. It's great to see you guys.
It's good to see you.
It's my responsibility of subject matter this week.
Mm.
And I'd like to start with a preamble because I want to make sure that you guys understand I didn't come up with this subject to shit on Trump. That's not what I'm trying to do. I texted you guys, there are three things that I don't like issue-wise that I think are big issues that I wanted to bring up and see if you guys could maybe convince me that I'm wrong for having a negative stance on it. But I don't bring that up to shit on Trump. Here's why I bring it up. We got some real problems down the road. Would you agree? Serious financial problems. Look at the price of gold. What does that tell you?
Well, it tells me a lot, but one thing it tells me is that interest rate. The biggest thing it says is that interest rates are down and coming down. But go ahead.
Where's that announced right now?
$4,100. And so
$1,200.
So the gold that Bill and I bought, because we bought it. We each bought an ounce. We bought gorgeous fucking ingots from Switzerland or whatever. Absolutely fucking gorgeous. And at one point, I was no longer interested in gold, and I asked him if he wanted to buy mine. And he's like, "Well, all right, or whatever." That was because we bought that gold at like $1,100 or $1,200 an ounce, and I think I sold mine for like basically what we had paid for it. And my God, I wished I wasn't in a position at the time to buy a whole bunch of it, but that's one hell of a fucking profit margin. Like like $1,200 to like $4,000. It's been dropping lately, but go ahead, Scott. Please.
Yeah, I'm certainly not an economist, but when we see spikes like that, it kind of makes you worry that people are like, hey, I don't know if I have a whole bunch of confidence in the U.S. government.
Yes, you're right. We have financial problems.
We have financial problems. And we have no party talking about cutting spending ever. Right? We remember when the Republicans used to pay lip service to it, and now they don't. It's sad. There's going to be a real problem. We can't keep living on borrowed time and credit. We can't just keep doing it. We can't. We also have problems like AI. What are we going to do when we hit 40% unemployment? This is a real problem. It's possible we won't hit that. It's possible AI won't take all these jobs. I think that's wrong. I think that people that think that are living in a fantasy. It's only a matter of time. We have real problems.
It's the nuclear arms race of our times.
I think it's a great way to put it. And we need a Manhattan Project of our times in order to figure out how to deal with this in the inevitable new economic system that will need to happen after things like this happen. Economic problems plus AI and no jobs. That's just one sample. Plus, the old problems haven't gone away. Nuclear weapons are still there, for instance. We're not solving problems; we're creating new ones.
So your first problem with Cheeto is financial problems.
No, not necessarily. The problems are separate from this. My
What?
point is that we have so much problems that are coming down the pike
Yeah.
that, in my humble opinion, we kind of need perfection at the top.
Oh, so
And
the things that you're going to talk about today, the 2 or 3 things you're going to talk about today, you see as kind of distractions from what we should be focused on.
I see them as reasons why people that think that he's perfect should realize that he's not. And people that think that he's the golden light and savior of everything should realize that he's not. And that maybe by poking these holes, the next generation of leaders, if more of us talk about these issues and more of us expect more perfection, hopefully we'll get it. Hopefully people that
and
can
hopefully people won't seek that perfection where the voters of New York are looking for it.
exactly. That way they won't go to things like silly Zoran Mamdani communism
Yeah,
and things like free buses.
yeah.
Even though half the people ride the bus for free, and everybody that needs to ride the bus for free can ride the bus for free in New York already. Come on, people, just look it up. It takes 5 minutes. Anyways, there were 3 things that I see as issues with Donald Trump. One of them being the whole election denial thing around 2020, right? I've listened to a bunch of arguments for hours, as have the both of you. The conclusion I came to is that the 2020 election was not stolen. Yes, there's some fucked up shit that happened in the margins, as do every election. There has been over 60 lawsuits that Trump has filed. There has been no evidence showing that there has been widespread
Voter fraud.
widespread fraud that would cause the election to sway the other
All
way.
of that is correct. And you know why there wasn't any voter fraud, or very little, or not enough to make a difference in the election? But why some people could say the election was stolen anyway and be like somewhat accurate about it. I have all your arguments between the crosshairs of my superior annihilative intellect.
It's not an argument. It's not an argument. I'm sure it has something to do with mail-in voting.
So I knew, yeah. So, well, I'm looking at a map of the United States, and I'm going to tell you that every state modified their voting procedures except, all right, in 2020, except Oregon, Washington State, Idaho, Montana, North Dakota, Wyoming, Kansas, Illinois, and Georgia. And I'm just gonna do a sample here for you. The rest of the country, every state. So that's just a handful of states. Every other state did modifications. So let's go through a couple. New Mexico, counties authorized to send mail-in ballot applications automatically to all voters in the November 3rd election. Everybody got a ballot in the mail. That's not a great big thing. It never happened before.
Yeah, but does that give them the opportunity to vote twice?
Let me finish. Texas. Early voting period for the November 3rd general election was extended by 6 days. Voters required to be notified if their absentee ballots might be rejected due to signature mismatch. Officials required to give such voters meaningful opportunity to cure their ballots. Absentee and mail-in return locations were limited to 1 per county.
There were changes made because of COVID. There could be fuckery within those changes. I understand your point. Was Trump thinking of those when he called the Secretary of State of Georgia and asked him to find 11,000 votes? And we're talking about Venezuelans breaking in and altering voting machines? Because I listened to that myself, the whole phone conversation afterwards, and I was extremely disappointed that our former president did that and said that to a Secretary of State. Or,
Yeah, I get what you're
it's,
saying, and I agree with you. All of it was an outgrowth. Um, all of it was an outgrowth. You have to understand that with Cheeto, everything is an outgrowth of something else. Literally everything. So they accused him of stealing the election in 2016. Hillary Clinton did. They all did. The
yeah, and they're
Russians,
all they're
yeah,
because they're piece of
the
shit
Russians helped
politicians.
Trump.
Exactly.
The Russians helped Trump. He hijacked the election. Nancy Pelosi's famous tweet: "Trump hijacked the election." Now you're not going.
She's a piece of garbage.
Yeah,
Like, there's
you're
no
not.
argument here at
Yeah,
all.
and here's the thing with Donald Trump: he's a real estate magnate from New York, from Queens. You're not going to hit Donald J. Trump. You're not going to hit Cheeto with, you know, uh,
And you're not going to get his list of subcontractors that are begging to get their money that they never got paid either, because he's a product of a system like all of us. He's not good. He's not bad. He's the same. He makes mistakes and he does certain things well. I was sitting there cheering when he did his little fight thing after he got shot. I thought that was one of the most badass things ever. And I was also like, I can't believe this motherfucker when he made that call to the Secretary of State of Georgia at the same time, because he's a human being like all others. That's my only point. And Mark, you have to see these people that are just cheerleading, and it has to get to you at some level.
oh,
It has to.
the cultists. Yeah, I've got nothing in common with them.
Yeah.
But I don't, and I never have, and I never will. And that's why I will happily remind and try to do it cheerfully and sometimes not so cheerfully. Happily remind people that are constantly, no matter what side of the spectrum it is, constantly when it was Joe Biden or when it's Donald Trump, right? And like you sound precisely like the people that you were criticizing during the last presidency. So
Yeah.
you're out there tweeting about Donald Trump every day, multiple times a day, every single day. And my opinion is, if you're tweeting about Joe Biden being senile every day, 365 days a year, 24/7, and you've never watched a puppy video, you're obsessed. You've got some kind of psychological
Yeah.
problem. And I'm happy to admit that, yeah. I mean, obviously, yeah. I don't like the cult of Cheeto, and I don't, but I understand it. We warned it. I say we. A lot of us warned people this was going to happen.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
It's perfectly understandable how it's going to happen, because the left is horrible. Just look at Joe Biden. Look at the fuck you that the Democrats did to all of the American people by no, he's fine. He's not senile. He's not losing his mind. Anybody that looked at any media besides leftist media knows that and knew it for at least a year beforehand. And they kept shoving it down our throat. And then they said, you have to have Kamala Harris.
and
That's
then they
it. There's
said,
going to
yeah,
be no
and
other
then they
prospects.
said, yeah, and not only did they do that,
And if you don't vote for her, you're fucking racist. And
Yeah,
you're
I know
sexist.
a few people that were genuinely dismayed when they found out he was senile.
well, a lot of people didn't know until they saw the debate.
Crazy.
A lot of people didn't know until they saw the debate. And one of the reasons why they didn't know until they saw the debate is because not only was the news media actively participating in the cover-up of him being senile, they were literally saying that clips of Joe Biden wandering off, or that those clips were selectively edited when they weren't. Like, yes,
They
there
absolutely were not. And Operation Bubble Wrap was a thing. That was a real thing. They called it Operation Bubble Wrap. They called it Operation Bubble. That's basically calling it Operation Fuck You American People. I don't respect you at all.
Yeah.
I get it. And that's why I want to bring this up, because it's like, I get the temptation. But when we have real problems, Jesus Christ, can we just get the best of the best? Can we get the absolute top in leadership?
So
That's
all
all I
three of
want.
us
And
agree.
if Trump helps us get, because he's not going to be around forever, dude. So we'll all be irrelevant in 3 years because we're going to have somebody else.
So all
right?
three of us agree. Yeah. So all three of us agree that Trump should stop talking about how the election of 2020 was stolen. Like, when he's in a speech,
Well, and it also hurts we do need to close these any way that somebody can commit fraud needs to be investigated and closed. And if people just keep blowing this off as just Trump being crazy, then no one's going to take it seriously when there really are potentials for electoral fraud out
Yeah, I
there.
want to add one proviso, though. And when I mentioned that there were only a handful of states that didn't change their election laws, Pennsylvania prepaid return postage provided for mail-in and absentee ballots in November, in the November general election. Absentee and mail-in ballot receipt deadlines were extended with a postmark deadline with zero proof that the ballot was sent after that date. Drop boxes for returning completed absentee mail-in ballots were authorized. It's just a lot of state, yeah. And you said it was because of the pandemic.
It's another way of gerrymandering, basically, right? It's another way that they can nudge rules to get their guys in power. It's the same old song,
Yeah,
right? It's just a new opportunity
they
because of
did
COVID.
use the pandemic to flood the country with mail-in ballots, and I mean that so
Yeah, they
but
did.
yeah,
Absolutely.
but yes, I think
You're
yeah,
talking to people that do gerrymandering.
yeah.
This is just what it is. It's another. They're going to find another way to do this. These people
And
want to
also,
be in power. That's a game.
Susie Wiles should tell Donald Trump to stop talking about how the election was stolen.
It
Okay,
doesn't help America.
jump in here because you guys are talking about gerrymandering. You guys are talking about flooding the marketplace or with all these fake ballots. You guys are right there, just saying that what he is saying is accurate, and that's what I don't understand. I still do understand.
Some of what he says is accurate, but he
Right.
had 60 lawsuits. He didn't win
Oh,
2020.
absolutely. But
It
here
doesn't mean that it's not fucked. But him keep saying it makes
makes
the problem worse.
right. But here's what I get, and I am absolutely in agreement with you. You should stop talking about it. We're going from 136.7 million votes in 2016 from the previous to the next year to 158.4 million. There's a 23 million vote increase. That's 8%. If you go down the path with my chosen AI, Claude, thank you, Scott. You get to a point where that kind of jump from one cycle to the next is not typical. It's very, very rare. Now, you guys did allude to it a little bit with the mail-in voting, the COVID increase, and stuff like that. But I think if we're talking about those, we need to say that maybe there's some truth to the matter.
I think there's a lot of truth to the matter of fraud and gerrymandering by other means, like I mentioned earlier. Yeah, which is essentially quasi-fraud. Yeah, absolutely it is. But my point is he has to stop, just like Mark said. Enough has been done. You can't keep saying it. You lost. Yes, there's fuckery. Let's work on the fuckery in a bipartisan way. But Trump being all Trumpy about it and fuck my enemies isn't going to allow that to happen. We need leadership for the entire fucking country. And Trump being Trump, I hope it gets us there. I hope Trump goes down as the best president that's ever existed. And I hope that, because that would be the best thing for America. I've said this many times. But I just don't see how this fuck my enemies approach, I won, fuck you, helps America. I don't.
He does have a lot of animosity, yes.
Can I move on to one more here? Maybe two. I don't know how long we want to go.
Yeah.
I don't like the Venezuelan boat sinking. How do you guys feel about that?
I'm kind of ambivalent towards it. I know what they're trying to accomplish, but I think there's, an American way, innocent until proven guilty kind of thing kind of falls into, my mind there. I don't know. What do you think, Mark?
I think we're in cognitive warfare with China and Russia. China and Russia are exponentially expanding their influence in Latin America. They're doing it in Venezuela. They've been doing it in Venezuela. We're in cognitive warfare with them, and I believe in the Monroe Doctrine, and I believe that extraordinary measures should sometimes be taken in extraordinary circumstances. I get the argument that these drug cartel boats should be boarded and the people arrested. I also get that sometimes muscular diplomacy and little gunboat diplomacy, what's the expression? There's a movie expression. The gun says a whole lot more. Whatever. I looked up just a few things. By the way, for anybody that doesn't know what cognitive warfare is, it's a form of conflict that targets and manipulates human thought and behavior to gain strategic advantage. So the Chinese and the Russian, China and Russia have been in Latin America doing cognitive warfare, and um, the threat that it poses is that a strategic friendship with America's neighbors is extremely useful. And
It's similar to Russia expanding thought patterns into Cuba.
well, I mean, yes, and that was taken to a real, like the Cuban Missile Crisis, like to the nth degree by the Soviets, not the Russians, but the Soviets. But yeah. So just to read something here to you. Every day over 1 million people rely on Mexico City's metro bus to get to work, school, and home. The buses are packed to the wall, while long, chaotic lines spill out from the glass-walled stations that dot the city's busiest roads. As commuters wait, their eyes will catch a sleek, seemingly harmless ad. Quote, "The news has no borders." The slogan, courtesy of Russia's state-sponsored outlet, RT, appears to promote global awareness and open access to information, but behind its polished presentation lies something far more devious. Disguised as neutral journalism, RT's messaging is the first volley in a larger campaign targeting Mexico's working class with subtle, strategic misinformation designed to reshape their perception of truth, democracy, and international alliances. This is happening all over Central America and South America, and I don't give a fuck if we send some really tough messages to the Venezuelan government and their narco-terrorist.
You're really looking at the macro with this. I can really appreciate that. But we are killing people. We are not boarding the boats. The excuse is they're bringing fentanyl into the country. The DEA says that Venezuela is not a big provider of drugs to America. We're doing it. We've killed, what was it? I wrote it down. 57 people since September. Is this just Obama drone striking the weddings and it's
No,
politics and who gives a fuck?
no.
Wouldn't fentanyl come from like Canada?
It could come from a lot of places. Why are we focusing on this? I think we are trying to send a message because Trump just said recently, they're basically ready for military attacks in Venezuela right now. That's what the news is all talking about, and this was all leading up to that. I didn't know that when I chose this subject. I don't see how it's different than it's just more realpolitik. So who gives a fuck, right? Who gives a fuck what the truth is? Realpolitik.
Yeah, there are big drug cartels in Venezuela. Cartel of the Suns, Tren de Aragua.
There's big ones everywhere. We're not sinking boats of everybody. We're not making it a big news story because we're sinking the boats. We're not stopping the boats. We're not intercepting the boats. It's just, no, fuck you. Boom, die. I get it, but is that what we want to be doing? I mean, Jesus Christ. All the right-wingers are coming to the spiritual conclusion of how Iraq was bad. The Iraq war was bad and we shouldn't have done it. And how is this different? I understand there might be some slight differences, but it's okay. We're getting ready to attack. Yeah, Monroe Doctrine, I get it. Keep the commies out. I'm right there with you. But Jesus fucking Christ, dude. It's attacking another country.
The Monroe Doctrine wasn't written for communists. It was written for European powers, which Russia is. And no China.
Well, it says we control this.
And no China,
America.
China is not a European country, but obviously, the geopolitical map has changed. The general perception of the Monroe Doctrine is that we want to keep foreign influencers out of our hemisphere. Yeah, we don't want. Look, Scott, I don't want Venezuela destabilizing its neighbors, and I don't care if we have to kill a few drug cartel people to get them to fucking back off. I don't. I really don't.
So it has nothing to do with what's being said. Okay, I get it. It's nothing to do with what's being said. It's a realpolitik behind it.
Yeah.
Can we in this digital age? Because for me, realpolitik is the noble lie. It's no different than Anthony Fauci with the masks, and it's going to be found out that it's a game, and we, the general public, stupid fucking idiot rubes that we are just being lied to. So this has nothing to do with the drugs. Would you admit that? This has nothing to do with the drugs. That is an excuse. Realpolitik. Is that what it is?
I mean, no. If you listen to the people that are saying it's that they agree with it, they're saying no, drugs. These drugs kill Americans, and we're taking extraordinary measures to stop it.
DEA says they're not a major drug supplier. There's probably more fentanyl coming from other places.
There is a
So
lot
I
of-
agree with you. It's realpolitik. It's an excuse. This is an excuse to play the game, the realpolitik game. Can the noble lie survive in the digital age? Because all this has given us is more bullshit, right? Okay, so it's realpolitik. Fuck the Russians, fuck the Chinese, fuck your influence, fuck Venezuela. I'm actually on board with you there. Fuck these clowns. What I'm not on board with is the lies. It's about drugs. It's about fentanyl. We got to stop this shit. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Shut the fuck up. It's not. It is about realpolitik, just like you said.
I don't know, Scott.
But we live in the digital internet age, man. People are going to find this shit out. There's going to be 10 million fucking idiots like us talking on the internet, telling people about this. The truth is going to find it.
I have to take issue with you to this extent. I don't know if you've ever spoken with or read anything. Robert De Niro's grandson died from a fentanyl overdose, and it's because of a pill. He bought one of those pills online that people were selling on Instagram. It's fentanyl laced. By the way, just as an aside, the irony that it was Trump's DEA and Trump's DOJ and Trump's FBI and Trump's U.S. attorneys that just busted the crew that sold Angelo De Niro the laced fentanyl pill that killed him is pretty wild. Like when you stop and think about it. And then there was an actress and her husband who just talked about. If you ever talk to a parent who's lost a teenager from a fentanyl-laced pill that went through, so the Sinaloa cartel and all these cartels that operate freely in Venezuela, right? You have to understand that these cartels operate freely in Venezuela. The Venezuelan government is involved in drug trafficking, right? And yes,
Yeah,
a lot of it is not fentanyl. Most from Venezuela, most of it's cocaine. And,
And that's just a good time. Who has a problem with that?
I mean, yeah. So.
Are you saying that?
I'm saying.
So, in addition to that, there's also. I just want to make sure I get your argument right. It's also an anti-drug statement. It's also keep these drugs out of our fucking country.
For every boatload of drugs that you stop or blow to smithereens that's on its way here, you're saving lives. I do believe that there's a component of the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few in this equation. I honestly do believe that.
Oh, he went Star Trek on you.
He did go Star Trek, but there's also due process. There's laws. To me,
okay,
just blowing up these boats. It seems so weird and specific.
Pull the international law thing on me, and I'm just going to say,
I know it's all window dressing and it's all realpolitik behind, but still, it matters to a degree, right? If we have these laws and these agreements, we shouldn't break them for
I will
bad
concede
reason.
to you that in an ideal world, in a perfect world, I would have been happy if one or two narco terrorist boats got blown to smithereens and then we started boarding them. Because I think at this stage of the game, we've vaporized 7 of them now, 6 or 7.
It wasn't many, enough to kill 57 people. It's not like it's a huge thing. I would rather just see, okay, if we're going to do a fentanyl thing, we're going to stop fentanyl and cocaine. I would much rather see it applied universally and not just we're going to shoot down Venezuelan boats.
Oh, I can assure you that the United States government is doing it universally.
Yeah, well, there's like 13 or so they got in the South Pacific coming from, Mexico.
The headlines are the headlines. Like
So,
there's a
That's a
lot
good
of
point.
there's a lot of narco interdiction that you and I are never going to hear about. And you know, if I worked in the White House like I used to, I would know about it, but I don't know about it anymore.
that
And
is
you're not,
exactly what I was going to say. You know, this has probably happened in the past. There's probably been a boat that has been
Yeah.
blown up under the Biden or Obama administration. At some point, somewhere, the U.S. Coast Guard did it. But
Obama's drone strikes. He's killed so many motherfucking innocent. This, you know.
specifically about Venezuelan boats,
Yeah.
at some point, something happened. But the president has got his finger on Twitter, and he wants to show off. And
Yeah.
he shouldn't do that because it publicizes this. And, you know, it's the same thing as the CIA or the FBI. They display their, what is it? They lose the,
well, they release the video of it every time,
yeah.
right? Homeland Security releases video of it, and they brag about it. There's a method to that badness. And again, I think probably we should have blown up one and said, "All right, motherfuckers, that's it. We're boarding the rest of them." You know, but
Yeah.
but I do understand with everything that the Maduro regime is up to. I am fine with doing almost anything to destabilize it. No, I don't. And of course, now the left is like, we're going to go to war in Venezuela. We're going to invade. We're going to bomb. We're going to bomb the innocent people. You know, and that's all nonsense. I mean, they said we were going to invade.
Yeah, it's going to be military strikes for sure. They're going to be as precise as they can be. I get that.
I'm not even sure we're going to do anything.
If we do it.
Aside from cartel boats, I don't think there's going to be any military intervention in Venezuela. I really don't. Do you believe that?
I don't know enough about it. I just know what the basic facts are. There's been a show of aggression, and Trump said
we're going to go to war in Venezuela. And by go to, let me rephrase.
I don't think there's going to be ground troops in Venezuela. No.
Do you think that we're going to use the Air Force to bomb facilities in Venezuela?
That would be the worst case scenario. Would be like a few isolated strikes. Do I think that's going to happen? Probably not. No.
Probably not.
But it could be. It'd be possible. But I don't think it'd be any more than that.
I'm going to say what's happening right now in Venezuela is government approach to destabilize Maduro, and I'm fine with that.
Nothing.
Yeah, he's a bad guy. I could see it, but it's just
Superpower blast in a Bronze Age place into the Stone Age. So,
ooh, nice. That's a good one.
We're a super. We need to act like it. We can't be picking on Venezuela. If it's going to be anything, it's going to be the CIA infiltrating Green Berets and Delta Force, and maybe a few selected Predator strikes. But it's not going to be a giant blown out war.
I think we should train Venezuelans to attack the country themselves, and then when they get slaughtered, we should deny.
Scott, that's exactly what's going to happen. We're going to destabilize Venezuela, and with any luck, they'll topple Maduro, and somebody else is going to step in.
I mean, that would be it, right? Because a lot of people are suffering. There's famine, kind of, essentially, in that country. So I get it. It's not that I don't get it, man. It's just that, see, Mark, you're bringing it into a bigger thing, which you should be. But a normal-ass motherfucker like me just sees the news stories of Venezuelan boats being attacked. And if it's just, drug runners and getting killed with not enough information, that's going to hit bad with a lot of people. Hits bad with me. You got to bring it into a bigger picture for it to even make sense.
I want my cocaine as much as you do, Scott. Okay?
Just get it from Colombia.
Let's get that part out of the way.
We should do ethically sourced cocaine. Get it from Colombia, so you're not supporting all these Venezuelans, and then we're good.
We should grow it here. Like we should grow it in
we
Hawaii,
should grow it. Yeah,
California.
I like things we agree on more, which is like American forests producing our own drugs.
Cocaine plantations in Southern California.
Well, you know what we do is pharmaceuticals, and pharmaceuticals are better than any other drug.
I'm one of the people that wants, I want it back in Coca-Cola. So
I would love to have it back in Coca-Cola. Fuck coffee, man. Be drinking Coke every morning.
That'd be great.
Yeah, all right. No, this is good. This was a good discussion, man. I really appreciate you guys, and Mark, I think you helped me kind of broaden up that last one and not be so myopic, and it makes me rethink it. I don't know if I'm going to change my mind, but I think you made excellent points. Josh, you as well, especially on the election shit. Thank you so much for discussing this with me. Cheers. Oh, my fucking drink is empty.